Good evening and welcome to Missouri Valley College, Balney Ashford Stadium, Greg Mitchell Field, where tonight it's a doubleheader between the Missouri Valley College Vikings and the Mid-America Pioneers. I'm Ken Cuiava, Chaz Matty alongside, and Chaz, I think it's going to be an interesting doubleheader. This is a big match for the Vikings tonight.
It is a big match. As you look at the standings here, the top half of the conference, you see Missouri Valley there at 5-2-1 in the conference standings, 7-5-1 overall. But just a few spots behind are the Mid-American Nazarene Pioneers at 4-2-1 in this thing. So, Missouri Valley right now is sitting in that second and third spot. There's a lot of that can happen between all these teams that are jumbled up between 2 and, they say, 5 or 6 in the standings. Even look at Penn and Culver Stockton there at 4-4-1. A lot can happen over the course of the next 2 weeks heading into the conference tournament.
Let's take a look at the Vikings starting lineup. In goal tonight is Sarah Spires. She is out of Eastvale, California, a freshman. She's in there because Anna Bobek has a deep bruise on her leg, so she will not play tonight. So Sarah Spires will get the start. Other starters, Rosa Soto, Evelyn Lucatero, Raquel Hamblin, Marissa Perez, Jenny Garcia, Laura Castano, Samantha Starowski, Nicole Rubio, Madison Geis will be in the starting lineup. In goal tonight for the Pioneers will be Anessa Couric. So Couric will be in goal for the Pioneers, and the Vikings will go with Spires. Again, coming in tonight, as Chaz told you, Central Methodist 8-1. They're off tonight. Missouri Valley 5-2-1. Then Graceland 6-3. Benedictine 5-2-2. And listen to this score. Benedictine played Avila today, 12-0.
That's a big score. That's a lot of goals.
That's a big score in soccer. So we're ready to go tonight. Glad you can be with us. In a few moments, I'll have a couple comments from head coach Drew Hawkins, and we'll keep you updated on everything else that's going on tonight as far as the soccer world, the men's game, after this one. So we're ready to go on Greg Mitchell Field. Those of you who are viewing for the first time, rooting for the Pioneers, you notice a brand new turf this year on Greg Mitchell Field. The Pioneers are in their dark blue with the white numerals, red MNU across the front. Their primary colors are red, white, and blue. And the Vikings in their purple shorts, the white jerseys with the orange numerals. We're underway. And the Vikings take possession. And again in goal tonight is Anessa Couric. Other starters for the Pioneers include Lauren Coker, Mina Alada, Jessica Longhurst, Rachel Slack, Savannah Moxley, Steffi Crone, Briley Johnson, along with Riley Slack, Kaylee Hagan, and Grace Stein. So there you have the Pioneers start. Vikings get one in early in this match, and a good save by Couric. So Vikings had a pretty good chance early on, but Couric comes up with the save.
And offensive pressure is going to be key for the Vikings. They don't score a lot of goals. The women's team is not as proficient as the men's in terms of scoring. Good defense, though. If they can get an early goal, the women might be able to make it stand up.
Yeah, neither one of these teams real prolific as far as scoring is concerned. The Vikings on the year have 16 goals, and Mid-America comes in with 21 goals. The Vikings, though, have given up just 11 goals, and Mid-America 18. So, as you pointed out, both defenses do a very good job. Pioneers trying to keep possession in the Viking end. We'll get, again, a few comments from Drew Hawkins in just a moment. We'll talk about when these two teams get together, it's usually a very, very close match. Nice evening. The wind has died down now. It was quite windy today in Marshall.
That's usually the case, though, with all Missouri Valley against MidAm.
MidAm, usually good ball games.
It's almost always a great contest. They're entertaining.
The postseason tournament starts on November the 4th, and we'll talk about that schedule as we go along tonight as well. The Vikings have this one, then they go to Mount Mercy this weekend. Then they go to CMU next Tuesday. That'll be a big match. And then they'll next Wednesday they go to CMU, and then they'll wrap things up a week from Saturday here against Baker, and we'll have that one for you as well on the Viking Sports Network. Pioneers in control in their own end, working the right side. And that's Lauren Coker with it. Sends it back to the middle, tried to get it to Johnson. And now this will go out right in front of their head coach. Bobby Reese had a chance to visit with him for a few moments tonight. The Pioneers are 4-2-2, so they have a lot to play for the next couple of weeks as well. Just underway. We've played 3 minutes, no score. Vikings with control. I just send it to the left.
Yeah, it was behind the play a little bit.
Trying to get it over there was Starosky. Starosky's out of St. Charles. Good soccer in the St. Louis, St. Charles area. In this Viking team, not going to score a lot of goals usually, but play some pretty solid defense. Pioneers have control of it, and that is Riley Slack. She gives it off to Mina Alada. And this one is off of one of the Vikings, off of Amador, Julia Amador. So the Pioneers will have possession.
And for the Vikings, goals, I mean, you mentioned the goals don't come easily. Hamblin has 3 goals in the season. Amador has 3 goals in the season. Fournier has 3 goals in the season. So those are the leading scorers. Yeah. 3 goals.
Callie didn't play the first. She's only played in 6 of the matches. So she has kind of become one of the leading the goal scorers. I see the bus for Mid-America, the men's team arriving. Vikings have it in Pioneer territory, keeping possession, and they'll send one wide. The women won 1-0 at Grandview on Saturday, played on a natural surface, wet field, and the men were upset. I guess if you get number 2 gets beat by number 22, you call it an upset. 2 very good teams. The Viking men lost for the first time in conference play on Saturday.
Those games were pushed to Sunday because of the storms.
Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, there was lightning in the area up there, and so the games were pushed back. And Marshall got hit with some heavy rain on Saturday night, and as we're well aware, after our homecoming festivities, the storms just poured through Marshall. And so what fields up in Grandview, what fields here, and the natural surface became kind of swampy.
They played football Saturday at Grandview. That they have a turf field for football, and they played Peru State. They started at noon. They had a weather delay, and they picked up in the second quarter at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So they got it done, but it was about a 6.5 hour affair to get the football game in. So it's a good thing they didn't try to get the soccer matches in on Saturday. No score. Pioneers trying to mount an attack here. We welcome you Pioneer fans who will be viewing. I know Chad Jenkins will be watching tonight. The SID at Mid-America Nazarene. We'll be there in a few weeks to play football. Volleyball postseason coming up as well. Pioneers try to go on the attack. That one's sent out on the far side.
And that pass really never had a chance. Good positioning there by the Viking defense.
And again, in goal today is Sarah Spires. She's a freshman out of Eastvale, California. As Babic with a pretty deep bruise on her leg, so she's not playing tonight. Spires started the game at Grandview and, of course, had the shutout. So that's a pretty good goals against. Here's the this one sent toward midfield. And tracking it down for the Pioneers was Jessica Longhurst. Pioneers out of Olathe, Kansas, of course. Longhurst is from Las Vegas, so she's a few miles from home. Vikings with possession. Here's Geis. Sends it all the way across to the right side. And this one goes sent in the corner. Vikings will have possession, I think. Let's see. Yep, they'll have the throw in on the far side. We are played to 36-minute mark. 36 minutes to go in the first half. No score. And we kind of expect this would be a low-scoring affair. Vikings will get possession in Pioneer territory. About 44 yards out. Amador will send this one in. And one bounce, and that one goes right to Couric. So Couric will handle it. Come out toward the front of the 18-yard box. And send this one Pioneers with it. Neither team's really been able to mount much of an attack yet.
No, they're wearing out the turf in the middle there.
Good header as the Vikings try to send this one in. Vikings have 113 shots on goal this year, and the Pioneers 95. But you're right, on the football field, between the 40 and 40-yard lines, most of this action being played, at least early on here. That's Marissa Perez, and they'll send it all the way back to Spires. Keeping it in, the Viking end is Crone, Steffi Crone.
There's like two missed kicks there, one by Spires, then one by the right defenseman back there. That just the ball never really kind of got out. But the Vikings do clear now and tried to feed forward, but it didn't get through.
Coker, good defense there. Sends it away from Soto. Pass was intended for Soto. Here comes Amador leading the attack, gets it in, and it's out in front. Then going to be knocked away, and then going way out to her left is Couric to come up with it. Amador was trying to get that one through to Soto. 34 minutes to go in the first half.
Nope, offside.
There's offside. For a moment, the Pioneers thought they had a break, and the fans were here cheering for the Pioneers. Got a little excited, but the flag went up in a hurry on Kaylee Hagan. So Hagan was offside. As I mentioned, I had a chance earlier to visit with Drew Hawkins. Let's get you in on those comments. Drew Hawkins joins us before this match with the Pioneers of Mid-American Nazarene. And Coach, big stretch coming up. We'll talk about those games, but congratulations. Right now, this team's in second place. These gals are playing pretty well.
Yeah, they're playing, we're getting the wins when we need to, and we're taking care of business where we need to, and we've improved a lot since the beginning of the season. So.
Your last win was a win at Grandview. You were supposed to go Saturday. They postponed. You went Sunday. Grassfield. You win that match. That was a big one for you.
Yeah, anytime you can handle a little adversity with having to play on grass when it's raining and you're not used to it, and then changing the date and playing in the morning on Sunday, I was really proud of the girls, and they were ready to play, and they really played a great game.
What was the key to that match?
I just think that we brought intensity from the first start of the whistle, and we believed in ourselves, and we believed in what we were trying to do, and we accomplished it, and we got rewarded for it.
How about this Pioneer team you're going to face tonight, Bobby Reese's club?
Yeah, Mid-America is always a great game. Us in Mid-America, it's usually overtime tie or 1-0 win for somebody. So I wouldn't expect much less tonight, but they're good and they're very similar to us. You know, kind of a lot of new players rebuilding a little bit like we are as well. So it's pretty good rebuilding. So
yeah. Well, it looks like with just a couple weeks to go in the season, you are really coming into a tough stretch. So all these matches now are very important, especially you've got to get these ones at home, don't you, to stay where you're at in the ranking?
Yeah, we've lost once at home, and we don't plan to lose anymore. So we have 2 more tonight, and another night we have 2 home games left. So I think that's really important, is take care of your field and your advantage. It's an advantage, you know, and that's what we're trying to do, and that's what been our focus at the start of the season.
All right, Coach, good luck tonight.
Thank you.
All right, so there you have the comments from Drew Hawkins, and just as we started that interview, Briley Johnson had the best shot of the night, or best attempt of the night, best shot on goal, and her shot went just wide left. So still no score. 31 minutes to go in the first half.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. We right to the interview. It's on. It's been pre-recorded, and look, a giveaway, and you're kind of like, well, let's see if it goes wide or not. It was kind of a in terms of defensive plays, not a very good one there by Soto. And here's another chance for MidAm, and I think it's Marissa Perez with a nice play, kick it out of bounds, and set up the Pioneers with a corner kick.
So the Pioneers have had a couple of chances here in the last minute or so, last minute and a half, and they'll have a corner kick here. First corner kick we've had this evening. Coming in for the Pioneers is Rachel Slack. She's a freshman out of Phoenix. Or she at least came over to the bench. I don't think she's a sub. I think she came over and talked to her coach for just a moment. And now the Vikings trying to go on the attack here. Here's Starosky.
Oh, now it's a race.
Sends it in, and Amador couldn't get to it. So Couric sends it out of there. Amador. Good pass, gets it back. Here's a long shot, and coming off to her right to make the save again is Couric. Good job. It would have been a little wide, I believe, but Couric, taking no chances, got over there. Sends this one high to midfield. "29 minutes to go in the first half. We've not had any stoppages of play to this point. Men's match after this one. Then we'll have football for you Saturday. Central Methodist will be here. Next week, a busy week. We'll have volleyball both Tuesday and Friday. And then more football from Evangel on Saturday. Now this one goes all the way back to Couric. And the Pioneers in their own end.
And then Saturday night, soccer once again.
Once again, Saturday night soccer. Yep, that'll be up a week from Saturday. Baker will be here to wrap up the regular season. 28 minutes, 44 seconds to go in this first half. No score. Vikings had one shot on goal early, and the Pioneers have had a couple good chances. Here's the throw in from Coker. And battling for possession is Geis. Geis hits the deck. Pioneers trying to keep it in the valley end. This one comes all the way out to midfield.
It's like both teams are still trying to feel each other out after 20 minutes of play.
Well, neither team will score a lot of goals. We brought that point up early. So I think we'll be very careful. Don't want to give up anything, a cheap one. Here's Soto. She'll send it in. But, again, good defense by the Pioneers. Right place, right time. Rachel Slack. Pioneers working the right side. They tried to keep that one in and just couldn't do it. Coker's right in front of Drew Hawkins. That ball went across the line, across the boundary. So here's the throw in, goes to Hamblin. She'll send it to the middle of the field, headed away by the Pioneers. And in control is Riley Slack. Through traffic. They're going to say this is onside. Battle for possession on the far side. The Vikings come away with it. And they want to keep it in play. Knocked away by the Pioneers. Vikings will have the throw in.
And that's Marissa Reese, who ran all that way to create some pressure. Now she's going to take a nice slow jog back to get back to her defensive position. But she really pushed the ball up the far sideline, just trying to create something to maybe feed back to the center and create an offensive chance.
And she goes back, hands on her knees as she stands at midfield. No score. We have 26 minutes to go in this first half. As Anessa Couric, Salt Lake City is her home. And her line drive gets about to midfield. The Vikings send her right back in. And Couric comes out in front of the 18-yard box to grab that one. Broadcast copyrighted by the Mass Communications Department of the Communication, Humanities, and Human Service Division of Missouri Valley College for the private use of our audience. Any retransmission or the use of the content of the broadcast without the express written consent, Missouri Valley College is prohibited. As we play on, the Pioneers have it on the far side about midfield. Transportation considerations provided by Elmer Hare Ford in Marshall when we go on the road. Transportation provided by Elmer Hare Ford. Here come the Pioneers. Nice centering pass. Here's a shot, and it's good. A goal for the Pioneers. They got it to the middle and put in that goal. Went right by Spires, and the Pioneers take a 1-2 lead. Nice pass through traffic, and it was sent in for the goal. I have to check and see who that goal was. It may have, well, we'll wait and see. It might have been Riley Johnson. We'll have to wait and see. So, a 1-0 Pioneer lead here with 24 minutes to go in the first half. Nice pass right in front, and Spires could not make the save.
That was Kaylee Hagan with the goal.
Hagan, okay.
And the assist by Mina Alada.
Okay, so Alada had the assist, and Kaylee Hagan, number 16, had the goal. Vikings, there's a long shot, and coming from about 25 yards out. Good save there. For Hagan, that is her second goal of the season. So she has 2 now. And the Vikings down 1-0. 23 minutes to go in the first half. Alada. Battle for possession in midfield. It comes away to Slack. She hits the turf. And one of the Vikings helps her up. 23 minutes to go in this first half. 1-0. Pioneers with the lead. Pioneers send this one in. Vikings headed away. And this here is Perez. Sends it up the left side, but there is Rachel Slack, and she'll send it back to Couric. Here come the Pioneers again on the move. To the middle of the field, it's Steffi Crone. Sends it in. Perez knocks it away. No, 22 minutes to go in this first half. This one sent deep into the Pioneer zone. They'll send it all the way back to Couric. Right in front of Drew Hawkins, they battle for possession. Now this one will go out. I think the Vikings will have a throw in here. Drew ready to go to his bench. Peyton Purcell ready to come in this 1-0 affair. And also, Callie Fournier. Callie has 3 goals this year. So they're getting ready to come in, and it's 1-0 match. Here's a shot on goal. It takes one bounce and goes right at Couric. So she's able to handle that one with no problem. 21 minutes to go in the first half. This one's sent to midfield.
So since the goal, a couple of offensive chances for the Vikings, a little more offensive pressure since the Pioneers got that tally.
And they're going to have to put a little more pressure on. Of course, plenty of time in this match, but as we've pointed out, neither of these teams score a lot of goals. Fournier ready to come in, and also checking in will be Purcell. Soto will have the throw in here. Again, our transportation considerations provided by Elmer Hare Ford in Marshall when we go on the road. Always in a Taurus or nice vehicle from Elmer Hare Ford. They provide transportation considerations for the Viking Sports Network. Here come the Vikings trying to tie. Amador had an opening for a moment, tried to split a couple of defenders, and it was taken away. Good defense.
And from up here, you could just see all the blue shirts converge on the ball and really kind of form a wedge that was going to be tough to get through without going either over the top or around.
Vikings not allowing the Pioneers to get another attack going. This one will go out on the far side. Vikings, they were able to keep it in. Good hustle.
Yep.
Play on the far side. And it'll be a Viking throw-in. Only had one corner kick in this match so far, and that was by the Pioneers. Pioneers get possession here. 18.5 minutes to go, first half. Again, we'll have the men's match tonight as well for you.
And as we saw a couple seconds ago in our graphic, Peyton Purcell checked in for the Vikings, and Starosky hit the bench.
All right, and Fournier also came in. Here come the Vikings. Here's a shot. It's a goal. And this match is tied. I believe that was Amador. She took that shot from about 20 yards out, and that sent it high right in the center. And she put that one right by the goalkeeper. Good shot. Sent it high left side. High right side, and she scored. 1-1.
I'm not sure that much could have been done with that in terms of the goalkeeper. It was Amador with the goal, and that's just a well struck, perfectly placed ball to tie this game.
Put it up high. Not much she could do about that one.
And for Amador, that's goal number 4 on the season to go with 4 assists.
So, two teams that usually don't score many goals, each have a goal here in the first half. That was a good shot by Amador. Ooh, there's a collision with Amador and Rachel Slack. Rachel's still down, and she's going to get up, I think. Trying to stretch that left leg. Seventeen and a half minutes to go. In the first half, we're tied at 1.
You're watching the replay, and it looks like they just kind of bang knees.
Both went down, both are up, and we'll continue in this 1-1 tie.
And I don't believe there was ever even a flinch for a card on that play by the official.
No, they just ran into each other. Possession will be to the Pioneers. And now we do have an injured player
that's
down.
The same player. She's back down. Slack is.
Yeah, she tried to continue, but maybe a knee or leg. So she is down. And she's going to walk off under her own power, but she's a little bit of pain there. And that will bring Villa Gomez into the game. Elvia Villa Gomez will come in. She is from Whittier, California. So she's in for the first time. Okay. 1-1 is our score. 17:05. Clock is stopped, of course. And here comes the throw in for the Pioneers. Pioneers try to keep it in play on the right side. It does go out. And the Vikings will have a possession. Soto with the throw in. Just to the south of the Viking bench. And that one's headed by Purcell. The Vikings try to get this out of their own end. Here's Riley Slack. Gives it back. And the Pioneers try to attack. This 1-1 game. 16 minutes to go in the first half. Up the right side, Vikings trying to get to that, and they will. Send this one in front. Knocked away by the Pioneers.
Longhurst stepped in front. Kicked it out. Otherwise, it would have been a pretty good scoring chance for the Vikings.
This one sent in, goes all the way back to Couric. And here come the Pioneers. Vikings, good job taking it away. 1-on-2. Here's the shot, and Curry has to make the save. Not bad for the Vikings, though, and that was Purcell. Or Fournier, excuse me. Fournier, who came in with that shot. Again, she has 3 goals in just the 6 games that she's played.
And just a little misplay by Longhurst there, Jessica Longhurst, and allowed the chance for the Vikings.
No classes at Missouri Valley tomorrow and Friday, fall break. A lot of the students will be, of course, still on campus playing athletic events this weekend, and others will be in Kansas City as a lot of the Valley students and athletic teams work the NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway.
And it's the first fall break in Missouri Valley College history. So some people are pretty excited about that.
There's Longhurst with it.
And I think a lot of those people are the faculty and staff.
Faculty and staff who don't have ball games this weekend, or a lot of them are gone for until Monday. Pioneers will have possession. 14 minutes to go in the half, 1-1. Goal by Hagen for the Pioneers and Amador for the Vikings. This one sent in, headed away.
Ooh.
Now the Vikings try to go on the attack here. Going up the left side, they'll keep this one in play. Comes the Vikes, good chance. Here's the shot, and it's saved by Courier. That one came down to her.
Yeah, the right side of the goal was open, but that ball kind of spun a little bit right to the goaltender, and she didn't have to move.
Vikings again on the attack, playing with a little more aggression here. And this one will go out as they try to feed it into the corner.
Yeah, one player zigged, the other zagged, and the ball got sent out of bounds.
Really a nice evening, very little breeze now. And Pioneers will have possession. Moving right along here, a couple of subs will be coming in. Looks like Liz Corrales will be coming in for the Pioneers, and I believe that is Nicole Garcia will be checking in for the Vikings. Amador giving chase, but Vala Gomez gets to it. Also getting ready to come in for the Vikings will be Paula Inclán. Paula is from Spain, Madrid.
Second half action, Graceland leads Mount Mercy 2-0.
Okay. Check their places in the Graceland.
Graceland's receiving votes, I believe.
They're 6-3 coming in tonight, just a half game behind the Vikings. And Mount Mercy 1-7 coming in. So Graceland trying to hang in there, fighting for one of those top spots. Boy, Drew's going to clear the bench here. Anna Bajarono is ready to come in. I mentioned Garcia checking in, Nicole Garcia. Bajarono just trots on to the, so does Esmeralda Rojas.
Looks like Rubio's out, and Geis is out.
One game, 10:42 to go in the first half.
And Amador is out.
Here come the Pioneers working to their right. Good defense by the Vikings, not allowing them to keep possession.
And it's Rosa Soto with a good defense.
1-1 is our score. 10 minutes to go in the half. Soto puts it in action. Puts it back in play. Here's a pass. It goes through, and coming out is Spires to grab that one. And she'll send it about to midfield. Pioneers keep that in play. On the attack, Coker. A lot of action now going on again close to midfield. In this 1-1 tie. Vikings take it away from Alada. There's Castana. Pioneers bring it up their left side.
A little less feeling each other out. There's about, once the goal started happening, all of a sudden a lot of the passes are more aggressive. Little trying to stretch the defense a little bit, little longer attempts. Trying to get through that back line.
Battle for possession there. And the Pioneers will have it as Soto. Pretty good battle there with Corrales. One. You can see on the screen is our score. And the clock continuing to wind. This one's sent in with the left foot.
And Lexi Wappelhorst is checking in for the Pioneers. And Kaylee Hagan, goal scorer, is coming out for the remainder of the first half.
Send this one across. 7:13 to go in the half. Vikings with possession in midfield, or rather middle of the field. Good pass, trying to set something up here. Boy, look at those, trying to get through a double, a triple team, and boy, you look at all those blue jerseys back there. They just had a solid wall in front of that goal.
There were 8 blue shirts.
Yeah,
right there.
All right, Vikings work their left side, trying to find a small opening here.
I actually spent time counting the blue shirts in the middle of the field there. I'm better off counting the shirts that weren't.
Yeah.
Just doing some math.
They were all right there, all bunched within about 20, 25 yards. The goal right in the middle of the field. Hard to penetrate that defense.
And that's the trademark of both teams. Don't give up a lot of goals.
Bajarono sends this one in. Good. Sends it in to the middle. It's headed away. Vikings still have possession. Swat one toward the goal. It's still loose. And the Pioneers now send it out near their own bench with 5.5 minutes to go in this first half.
I think it was another
Stop
injury.
the clock at 5:33. May have an injury here. Official stops play, and that's Villa Gomez. Who will come out? One of the Viking trainers heads over that way to check on her. Five minutes and 33 seconds remaining in the first half. All right, clock is started. And the Vikings, they'll send it in with off the left foot of Soto. Both teams trying to get something going late in this first half, and it's 1-1 tie.
A second goal heading into the half would be huge.
Oh, boy. For either team. Vikings could get one here. They work it right side, but again, very good defense by the Pioneers. Vikings trying to keep it in that Pioneer zone. Send it to their left. Soto tracks it down. Now it's knocked away from her and out. 4:39 and counting. Alyssa Ruzan will check in. Ruzan out of Glendale, Arizona. Vikings get it in. Soto trying to track that one down. Can't do it.
Pioneers do a very good job of swarming to the ball.
Boy, they really
There's
do.
Not a lot of room to operate.
Amador has the lone Viking goal. And Hagen has the lone goal for the Pioneers. Vikings again send it in right side. That's the far side as we take a look at it. Keep it in play. Centering pass knocked away. Now the Vikes have it again. Here's a shot with the left foot. It goes wide right. 3.5 minutes to go in this first half. 1-1.
It's a good idea. The area was open as the ball gets stolen from Alada on the play, but just a bit wide on the shot.
3:18 to go in the half. Couric. This one headed by one of her teammates. Vikings keep it in that Pioneer zone. Again, just very little room to operate. Here's Castano. She'll give it back to Bajarono. .230 to go. Vikings trying to make another run here. And it's knocked away very nicely by the Pioneers. Bajarono, I believe, is the player that's down for the Vikings. And she's being helped out, and we're going to have a yellow card. Possession to the Pioneers. That stops play with 2:22 to go in the half.
Yeah, she had the ball taken away and then slid in. There wasn't really much. There was a little bit of a play on the ball, but it's an easy call for a yellow.
Here's Coker. Taken away by the Vikings. Good job by Castano.
Never saw her. Castano just snuck right up, and as she turned to pass, it was nowhere to go.
Here's a shot or a pass to the center with the left foot. Knocked away again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 blue jerseys. swarming to that ball. 1:38 to go. Here's a shot, and this one goes wide from right to left. So we're approaching the halftime. We'll take a break at the half. Chaz Matty will have the play-by-play in the second half. Let's see if the Vikings can come up with some magic here in the final minute. Castano back to Soto. Work it to the middle of the field. Just nowhere to go. 48 seconds left. And the Pioneers will send this one to midfield. Blocked nicely by Soto. 30 seconds left. 1-1 tie. And the Pioneers maybe, they'll send this one down. Couric does this. Let's see, they may try to get one more shot on goal in the last 14 seconds. One more attack. Trying to go to the right side, knocked away by the Vikings. 4 seconds to go, and that ought to be it for the half. As the Vikings, Castano with the ball in the right foot as we come to the end of the first half. 1-1. Goals by Amador for the Vikings, Hagen for the Pioneers, and no surprise, we have a 1-1 tie. We'll take a break. Chaz will have the second half for you in just about 15 minutes.
both like within 30 seconds. Valley had 8. Dodgers. Yep. But here's the thing. I mean, you almost have to pull for the Dodgers to win because the Yanks are so young. Man, all you're going to hear is how great they're going to be for the next 10 years. Oh, yeah. They played in what, 77, 78, 81? Make sure you hit record. And welcome back as we get started, or we get ready to start the second half here at Greg Mitchell Field inside Vonleh C. Ashford Stadium on the campus of Missouri Valley College. The Vikings and Pioneers tied at 1 apiece. I'll go through some stats real quick as the players get set on the field. The Vikings outshot the Pioneers 8-2. The Pioneers had 1 shot on goal. Vikings had 7. Both teams with an assist. Vikings had 4 fouls. The Pioneers had 3. Vikings did have a yellow card that was on Cordosa toward the end of the first half. The shot leader was Johnson for the Pioneers and Amador for the Vikings as the Pioneers get set to start things off at midfield here to go in the second half. So a lot of action between the 20s for both teams. Vikings had, according to the statistics, a number of chances more than the Pioneers did, but both teams only able to get it in the back of the net once.
Yeah, so that was talked to Drew Hawkins for just a couple moments at the half, and he was a little disappointed. You said they only had 2 shots. He thought one of them, the goal, was really an easy shot they should not have given up. And now they're going to have to find a way to penetrate this very difficult Pioneer defense.
And the Pioneers have been pretty stout about swarming to the ball. The Vikings have, for that matter, also. As, 8 shots and 2 shots, especially for MidAm, not a lot of chances to score. And it seemed like both chances happened back-to-back in the middle point of that first half. So we'll see what adjustments were made at halftime, what can be done in the second half, and who will pull out on top of this one. I want to keep my eyes also on the Graceland and Mount Mercy game, and that one should be pretty close to over at this point. Last I have here, Graceland still leads Mount Mercy 2-0. 9 shots on goal for Graceland in that one to Mount Mercy's 3. But I'll keep my eyes on that. Is that Graceland team trying to inch its way up into the standings and secure better playoff positioning heading into the conference tournament.
I think I have a final on that now. Graceland did win it 2-0, and Baker over Evangel 2-0. So those scores are all in tonight. We'll figure out the standings here in a moment.
And Baker will be here a week from Saturday, and we will have those games for you on the Viking Sports Network. And long day for you that day, as you'll be heading to Evangel as the Vikings will play on the road in Springfield, and then a couple soccer games against the Wildcats that evening. Handball there doesn't get called. And it may have been just because it hit both arms. One for the Vikings and one for the Pioneers.
Now here's how crucial this game becomes now. With Graceland winning tonight, they're 7-3. Benedictine's 5-2-2. The Pioneers are 4-2-2, and Baker's 5-2-2. If the Vikings win, they go to 6-2-1. They'll remain a half game up. If they lose, they would go to 5-3-1, and they could drop all the way down to 6th place with a loss from 2nd. That's how important this second half is right now.
And, there's games in between, but you look at all of a sudden then the Vikings have to fight and claw their way back up into the standings. And, one game can make a big difference or a big swing. And you have a game against the CMU next week and a game against Baker next week. But, then you might need some help to get back to 2nd or 3rd in the standings and how things play out. And sometimes home games matter. And I believe during the interview earlier tonight, where Coach Hawkins said, Drew Hawkins said, they lost one game on Greg Mitchell Field. They really did not want to lose another. So a loss tonight would be detrimental. And there's an opportunity that gets kicked away by the goaltender. Really detrimental to that cause. And if you do go your season with losing once, then all of a sudden home games in the conference tournament absolutely matter.
Yeah, they matter a lot. Now, if Mid-America wins, they'd go to 5-2-2, and they'd be right in that mix with Benedictine and Baker. If they lose, they fall to 4-3, and they would be the same. They would drop another spot. They would drop below Baker. So, but both teams a lot to play for in this second half.
There's a big battle for position in that far corner, just this side of the Malcolm Center. And the Vikings come away with it. And there's a pass ahead, and then there's really no one there. It's a wall of blue shirts. So a lot to play for with 40 minutes to go in regulation. And I'll throw that out there because neither team really scores. Both teams are pretty good defensively. So when goals are a premium, 1-1 may be on your scorecard there on the bottom of your screen 40 minutes from now as well. So we'll have to see what happens. MidAm with the ball right now, pushing that left side. As the ball comes to Grace Stein, she's a freshman out of Overland Park, Kansas, and the ball gets sent into the stands and behind the bench, and MidAm will inbound with a throw-in. Stein creeps where the ball gets headed by Briley Johnson. She's from Topeka. And now working that right hash is Savannah Moxley, and it gets taken away, and here come the Vikings. To the middle, and that's Rubio. Out to the side now. There are 3 white and purple shirts against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blue ones.
They just are going to protect that goal.
And a little bit of a chance there for the Pioneers.
Yeah, if that pass had been led her a little bit more, she would have had a one-on-one now, and she'd have been about 40 yards out, but still would have had a one-on-one.
Throwing this, a little defensive misplay there. Here's a feed up the left side. As Hagan, who scored earlier, tried to get it to the middle, and that was broken up. Pioneers keeping a little bit of the pressure on. That ball will stay with MidAm. And a throw in, and that ball gets kicked to the sidelines and out of bounds. So the Vikings content to clear just now, a little more than 38 minutes to go in regulation, and they're going to make Stein walk back to about the midfield stripe of the football field. And then, as happens in soccer, she'll creep back forward 2 or 3 yards and throw it in.
Yeah.
A little tentative play there, but I think it's Amador kicked it forward and gets it down and gives the Vikings a chance to get the ball out of their zone. So all that pressure, and the ball goes to the Vikings. The Pioneers threw it in, but the near side flagman is the flag pointed toward the Vikings. That throw-in goes over the head of Hamblin. But the Vikings do get control back, and now here's Fournier on the right wing, centering, and that is a pretty easy chance for the Pioneer goalie Curick. And she'll roll it out to the right side. Good read and intercept that pass. And she'll try to push the left side, but that ball gets taken away. So now it's the Vikings' turn to put a little bit of offensive pressure on. The Pioneers walked away without a shot. Let's see what the Vikings do. A little less than 36 and a half to play. This ball gets fed out, and the Vikings will keep it in. Nope. And kick back out off of the MidAm forward, Hagen. This is headed away. And then a little body action there from Fournier, and a little foul, and the Pioneers will get the kick. A little elbow jostling, too, from Stein and Fournier. Maybe getting a little chippy on this crisp, cool evening. Temperature right now in Marshall is, that's Columbia, that's not the right town. Temperature right now in Marshall is 64 degrees.
Not bad. It'll continue to drop as we go through the evening.
And that ball goes out. It'll be a goal kick for the Vikings. So 1-1. Both goals coming in a short span.
Yes.
During the first half. Hagen for the Pioneers. And Amador a couple minutes later for the Vikings. And that kick skips over the defenseman and goes out of bounds. And so the Pioneers with a throw in. Stein throws it in, and she gets the ball back, and that's kicked off of Amador and goes out of bounds. So Stein once again will throw in. And here it is, and that's Riley Slack, senior out of Phoenix, who had it momentarily, and the ball gets played back, and it's a little wide of Longhurst. Oh, a nice takeaway there by Rubio. And the Vikings have it 3-on-4, a long attempt, and that goes probably 5-6 yards wide, left side. Vikings actually had about even strength there. Not quite an odd man rush, but
I think Hamlin
pushing
took
forward.
That shot, yeah. Not sure she thought she could get by the defender, so she just let it fly from about 35 yards out.
Yeah, it was a long attempt. There was a pretty decent south wind earlier. It looks like the flags on top of the flagpoles for football aren't doing much of anything.
Not much right now.
Contact there to the 33-yard line, but nothing. Ooh. And here's a chance, and Longhurst kicks it aside, and the Vikings will throw in from the far side. Coming up on 33 minutes to play.
Once again, that was Hamlin who was down there. But Longhurst did a nice job knocking it away from her.
And that one gets wrestled away. Well, it's Lauren Coker. It is Coker. That's a long. Program monitors are an announcer's best friend.
That's right.
Yeah, Coker with that. Another thing I like about, I'll compliment MidAm here. You can read the numbers of the uniforms.
Yes, thank you.
We appreciate that.
These days now when everyone wants a uniform, you know, a camouflage type uniform, or put light numbers on light jerseys,
or dark numbers on dark jerseys with a gray outline.
It's impossible for broadcasters to see.
Yep. That's my get off my lawn moment.
Yep.
It's been brought to you by me.
That's right. Well, I agree with you.
32 minutes to play, a little bit more than that. 1-1 the score. Vikings will have this corner kick.
Yep.
And that's Amador to trigger it. Centering and headed up and out. Amador back with it, being watched by Villagomez.
Santa
And that
Center's
one
hitting
gets
another
kicked
hit.
out.
Yep. Vikings trying to keep the pressure on here. There you go.
Amador, right side, tries the center, and again, MidAm right there. And they're content to clear and knock it to the side. So a lot of pressure, and still not really a shot. Although they did credit one that went wide several yards, that got credited with a shot. So
Pioneer men have arrived, and they'll warm up on the north end here, behind the goal on the north end.
And their game, of course, starts after the conclusion of this one, whenever that should happen to be. Goal kick comes out, and MidAm, after the ball pinballs around a little bit, does get control. And Moxley now feeds up left side. She'll peel back, leave it for Stein. And Grace Stein will work the left side, and that gets kicked out by Nicole Garcia, senior out of Chino Hills, California. And the Pioneers will throw it in. That's kicked away. I think Perez was the one who got a foot on it to jar it loose. Ball stays with MidAm.
The conference tournament starts Wednesday, November 1st. Number 8 will play number 9, and number 7 will play number 10. Of course, the game's at the team with the with the best seed. Lower number being a better seed, obviously. And then on Saturday, November 4th, number 1 will host the winner of that 8-9 game. Number 4 will host 5, 3 will host 6, and number 2 will host number 7 or number 10. Then they'll play again Wednesday, November 8th, and Saturday, November 11th would be the women's championship. Same nights for volleyball, by the way. Women's volleyball, the same nights as the women's soccer. So that all gets started here in a couple of weeks.
And Brett Holt's Vikings doing very well this season.
Should have a home match in that first round. They knocked off Mid-American Nazarene in Olathe earlier this year, and that was the first time since 2012 that the Pioneers had lost a home match. But then the Vikings go on the road, lose at Benedictine last night.
That's just a tough place to play for
just
about everyone.
Just good teams, nice facilities. They draw well, good crowds. There's some tough places to play in this Heart of America Conference. Baker, here, the Pioneers, home fields.
Grandview hasn't been a picnic.
Grandview,
if you're a
William
visiting team.
Penn. Good conference, good small college conference, no question about it. Evangel.
That's Soto trying to clear, unable to. The ball gets kicked back, and Perez will track it down. All the additions of the past couple of years have been very competitive and have done very well for the Heart of America Athletic Conference.
And for broadcasters and for fans, it's exciting to see those teams. For coaches, I don't know. They thought it was hard enough the way it was, and then you had all these teams. But it is a very solid NAIA conference.
Here come the Vikings. It's 1-on-3 now, a little bit of support on the right side, and no feed was coming. And that gets trickled back to Garcia, who tries to put it in the center, and that's intercepted by MidAm, and they'll try now to create some pressure on a rush and kicked away.
Good job.
And that's Lucatero who sent that one to the side. 27 minutes in regulation, 1-1 the score. A pair of first half goals that came about the 30-minute mark or so in the first half.
Yeah, and you're right. Those goals came Well, really, just minutes of each other. Men's side, Missouri Valley 7-1, Baker 7-1, CMU 6-1-2, and then Grandview 6-2-1. This Mid-America team 5-2-1. So big game again tonight. Try to go down and get some comments from Lottie Simic here in just a bit. I see him down there.
Yeah, the Kaylee Hagan goal came at 24:47. The Amador goal came at 18:29, so 6 minutes apart.
6 minutes, and that's really been the only opportunities.
MidAm now pushing left side, centering, and that's kicked away. And a shot, right at the defender. And if that had gotten through Lucatero, that might have gone in. But as it is, it did not. And Valley now with it. And they will try to reset as Garcia gauges what's in front of her. And that's kicked away by Briley Johnson. Throw in the Vikings, and Amador whiffed, and the ball goes back over to MidAm. And there's Slack. Has it taken away for a second. Better pressure by the Pioneers right now as Johnson's back with it, and it goes out, and that's a goal kick for the Vikings. Nope, they're going to sit corner kick.
Corner kick.
Kicked out.
Under 25 minutes to go in regulation now. Now they stop play.
So it's Steffi Krohn, senior out of Germany, Rheinbeck, Germany. Will send it in, left foot. High arc, headed, goes through. And Valley will walk away with it. A little heel pass. That finds no one, and Pioneers send it over the top, and no one's home. And now a goal kick. They're content just to roll it up as the whistle comes. Flag called something.
Call offside?
No.
I don't know if the one gal from the Pioneers moved. I don't know. He raised his flag.
He did, but the play wasn't offside.
Now she's going to kick it again. So.
Yeah. Valley working that left side. Now feeding it back. I can only remember the one offside call early in the game.
Yeah.
It was against the Pioneers. Otherwise, there haven't been a lot of fast break type chances. And here's a 3-on-4 that turns into a 3-on-8.
Ooh.
And
it's good to
that's
get through the defense.
That Pioneer defense. They weren't there, and then a hesitation, a little, mishandling of the ball, and all of a sudden there's a whole wall of blue shirts.
Well, I thought when Amador was going to get that pass off to Fournier, there was going to be something there. You're right. As soon as she touched it, there were 3 Pioneers right there.
And so mass substitutions for Drew Hawkins. Purcell is in. Looks like Rojas is in. Rubio is out. Cardoso is out. I'm not sure if I missed one more. Now there's a whole bunch of white shirts heading onto the field.
Well, let's see if this bunch can get a goal.
And the MidAm crowd,
Not very happy.
not happy. Thought Lucatero got a little handsy with Kaylee Hagan. Little jostling.
Well, you bet those may be Hagen's family
I
members.
think so. That's a pretty good shot. Hagan from
Overland
Park.
Yeah.
It's an hour and 40-minute drive. So Crone once again.
Boy, look at that. Look at that in front of the
Left
goal.
foot. There's a header. Oh, it's in.
Oh, man.
Savannah Moxley with the goal. And the Pioneers take a 2-1 lead on a header off the corner kick.
There was a lot of jostling, a lot of pushing and shoving going on in front of the net about the time that the ball arrived. And you're right, off the header, there's the goal, and that is a 2-1 lead for the Pioneers.
And the ball hooked right to her. She was standing all by herself right on the goal line. She heads it. The ball sneaks into that far post, just inside the post, and that's a big, big goal for the Pioneers who take a 2-1 lead with 21-27, 21-26 to play in regulation. So now the pressure falls back on Valley. The Vikings responded in the first half. Have to see if they can mount some pressure, get some good chances here in the last minutes of the second half.
That was the 7th goal of the year for Moxley. She leads the team in goals, 7 now. And her shots on goal, that was her 24th shot on goal.
And so if my math is correct, they came in with 18 goals, correct?
Yeah.
And so that's now they have 20, so she's a third of
Well,
their
no,
offensive output.
they have 23 goals.
23 now? That's
23
still
goals.
close to a third of their
Yes.
offensive output. So 31, 30%, that area. As that shot goes, or that attempt goes well wide. And a goal kick for the Pioneers.
Can tell you how important these 20 minutes are. When it's just the standings, the Vikings could fall all the way. With a win, they stay in second. With a loss, they probably drop all the way to 6th.
Right side. Vikings trying to push, and now they'll curl back around as Callie Fournier loses control of it, and it goes out. Pioneers will inbound there and not going to be in much of a hurry to do anything in the next 20 minutes.
No, they will take as much time as they can here on every possession.
There's a mishandle and a feed inside from Reese, but no one there. And Couric will play it until someone runs forward, and then she picks it up.
One men's soccer score already in. Benedictine beat Avila 3-1, so that played that one a little earlier.
Vikings trying to push, and just good defense there. And that's Liz Corrales, another freshman. It's a MidAm team, a lot of freshmen playing for him. And Corrales didn't go far. She's from Olathe.
You notice when you're down a goal, there's not nearly enough. That 18 minutes seems like about a minute and a half, and when you're trying to protect the lead, it's like there's 30, 35 minutes out there. Boy, you just cannot let the Pioneers have another one. You have another one, that's probably it. So.
And for a team of the Vikings who have now 17 goals in the season, that's trying to score 3 would be 3 to tie would be a tall order. And a little bit of a favor done by the Pioneers as the ball goes out. Of course, the throw-in gets kicked aside and intercepted again. And here comes a chance, 2-on-1 coming. There's a player in the middle, and shot doesn't ever happen. The ball gets stopped,
Blocked again.
lodged. Fournier had a chance. That ball comes out to the center, and that shot gets blocked away.
I really didn't see that, but it looked like when Fournier got to the ball, it looked like she had a little problem maybe getting it on her foot or whatever, and by the time she kind of set herself, the defense was there.
And that's been kind of what's happened all night.
Yep.
You have an opening, and if you don't take advantage of it right away, the Pioneers are there. And a golden chance for the Vikings, and everything got pushed aside by MidAm. And here they come again now, pushing left side. They feed it back, and that's Rojas, Esmeralda Rojas who had it, and that ball will stay with the Vikings, and it's a corner kick opportunity.
A lot of action going on there. All the men's team
there's a
working out behind the net. It's kind of hard to see what's going on.
A lot of traffic.
A lot of traffic.
Amador to trigger things. That ball hooks. Shot, and nope, right to Curick. And the Pioneers have a player down.
I think that was Purcell who got a foot on that one. Off the corner, but
we watched the replay, and
the player who is down
Grace
is
Stein,
freshman out of Overland Park.
I didn't see on the replay what happened.
Nope. They are checking, looks like her right leg. She's going to get up under her own power, which is good.
Well, and that's the left leg, and she's not
left
putting
leg.
any pressure on it.
No pressure at all on that left leg, so I don't know if it's a knee or what the problem is.
So it was Purcell who had the shot. So
16:30 to go.
Vikings out shooting the Pioneers 12-4, which is a great stat to lead in if the score wasn't 2-1 for the Pioneers.
Here's Megan Morgan coming in. That shot on goal stat's kind of like that possession time possession in football. It just doesn't matter if you don't have the lead on the scoreboard.
Yep. You can own the ball for 40 minutes. If you lose by 7, you still lose by 7.
You still lose by 7.
Pioneers set to kick. Yeah, Morgan who just checked in with it. A couple of Vikings there that Alada is trying to get through, and the ball is out and stays with MidAm. And the clock ran for like 4 seconds on the scoreboard. The scoreboard clock reads 16:22. The game clock for us, I'm going to guess, is actually the accurate one, but we're gonna reset. Yeah, the clock operator decided to take a little siesta.
Yeah, run the clock.
So 16:10 is what's on the clock now. So that's what we'll adjust to. And now we're playing again. They wind, and hey, look, the clock is moving. Time stops for no one. Isn't that how it goes?
Something like that.
Time marches forward, so do we all.
Time marches on.
It almost, yeah. There's probably some Shakespeare line. My favorite line so far is the Act 3, Scene 3, line 87 from Hamlet. It's when students ask me if they can have like extra time for their homework or something. That line,
Is
Act 3, Scene 3,
one
line
word.
87, is one word, and it's no. Coming up at 15 and a half to
I
play.
will quote Shakespeare to you. No.
The Vikings play it back to Spires. And that gets fed out by the Pioneers, so throw in coming to the Vikings. Vikings going to try to get a sub in a second. 15 minutes on the brink of it. Here in regulation, Vikings need a goal to tie. And they've had chances. 9 shots on goal for the Vikings. Only one is from the back of the net, and that's going to go over to the Pioneers. Morgan, senior out of Waynesville, Missouri, just south of Camdenton, and illegal throw in. Ball goes to the Vikings. Whistle for the substitution, so that's Fournier who comes out, and Starosky is back in, and that goes out, and Viking ball. Long throw in, that's headed by Reese toward the middle. The only MidAm players are there. That's taken away momentarily by Geis, but MidAm gets it back. And there's a feed up now for Kaylee Hagan. Hagan trying to get around Garcia, cannot. Ball, though, stays with MidAm for a throw, and then that'll be Morgan who gets the honors for that. Kicked out. Morgan once again. There's a throw in to Riley Slack. Ball goes out once again. Morgan. It's like Groundhog Day down there. Throw in, throw in, throw in. Here's a feed to the center. Moxley gets pushed away or guided away. Now some pressure. They work to the corner. And that ball is taken away by the Vikings and kicked out. And we'll have another throw in from just north of the Pioneer bench. I think Valley's trying to figure out a way to get it out of that little corner, and the Pioneers are content to do the same three things over and over again as the clock winds down. Oh, nice little bit of footwork by Moxley. Can't get through. And the Vikings come out with it briefly. And Hagan putting some pressure. It's 1-on-2. Amador trying to navigate traffic. Can't. And out comes Slack. Slack now running through people, and Slack gets up slowly, and I believe it's Reese she had contact with as the ball came free, and now a little discussion with the official at about the 15-yard line as the Pioneers will throw it in once again. So corner kick coming for the Pioneers, and Crone once again on the left foot. Bends it in. The ball is up. That's headed a little bit out, and Valley gets it out of the box. But in killing a lot of time, the Pioneers have done a good deal of put a good deal of pressure on the Vikings. The ball just has not left the north end of the field the last several minutes, and here's a chance. Nope, too far. As Rachel Slack pinches. She's back in the game after a knee-to-knee incident earlier. Here's a try up the right side for Starosky. Good footwork
Good
there.
job.
She'll. It's
a handball.
It's a handball into the box. It does not get seen.
Oh, boy.
Everyone reacts.
Everybody reacted to that.
Except for the official.
Oh.
As we'll watch it here on the replay.
Look at Drew. Drew has his arms out saying, hey, did not you see that?
Oh, yeah, that's as clear as day.
Oh,
that hit her on the forearm. And everyone saw it except for the man in the green shirt. And unfortunately, it's his opinion that counts.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
It's fun working with the student crew sometimes. I hear, apparently I'm doing stand-up. Everyone's laughing. I'm like, I'm not that funny. So, Vikings try again. Under 10 now. And each second becomes more dire for the Vikings. Could drop as low as 6 in the standings after this, with just a few games to go in the regular season and heading into that postseason conference tournament. Vikings now try to push the right side. Yeah, we said a few minutes ago that when you have the lead, that time takes forever. When you're chasing, it goes quickly. And I know I tell stories, but that time seemed to go pretty quickly.
Under 9 minutes remaining. Boy, Drew thought they had to. Yeah, that was clearly a handball there in the box. Clearly.
And now the near side flagman and the
referee
official are going to have a conversation.
Drew may be saying.
And Drew's like, hey, how about the handball? There's a handball there.
How about
you missed the handball.
You missed a very obvious handball. The Viking men players who were warming up beside the south goal even stopped warming up.
Yeah, they saw it too, and they reacted. When people who aren't paying attention look up and pay attention for a second,
that
you
was
kind of
pretty
something
obvious.
happens. But it was missed, and
you play on.
As time marches on, not like you can do about it. Not a lot you can do about it at this point.
Nope.
Perez. Nope. They trade. Perez heads forward. And Amador sends it into the middle. And the ball comes free. Kicked away by MidAm. And Riley Johnson sends it into the offensive end, but it's brought back momentarily by Luz Corrales. But the Pioneers do control, try to play a little possession game. But that was intercepted for a second. Oh, two nice plays. That kicked out Nicole Garcia there.
Man, that time.
7.5.
Clock continuing to move. Vikings need to find a way to score. That was.
We got 3 on the right side here. It's Marissa Perez. And trying to feed through. Does get through it. Oh, that was almost chipped in.
Yep.
Keurig on her toes. Stopped it. That hit off one of the defenders in front.
Yep.
That's Longhurst, who got a foot on it. And as we watch on the replay, the left foot deflected it, and it slowed it down just enough. Keurig made the play, but it didn't look on the replay, at least in 75% speed, that to be that close, but any more oomph on that shot, and that ball might have gone in on the deflection. 6.5 now. And it seems like that clock is ticking a little bit faster.
Yeah, every throw in, every possession by the Pioneers, they take a little more time off the clock.
A little bit of anachronism there. Digital clocks don't really tick, but you get the idea. Oh, the defender falls down, and a little bit of a chance, but Longhurst steps up and just kicks it as far as she can out of bounds.
Quickly, the Vikings get it back in.
She slipped on the 15-yard line, but recovered. Pioneers push. And as the Vikings become a little more desperate, there may be some chances for the Pioneers to add an insurance goal. Rojas working right side. That's taken away. Now Perez with it. There's a feed to Starosky. And that gets kicked out. It's the flag person on the side says goal kick. It looked like it could have been a corner.
Yeah, looked like it could have been a corner, but he ruled it a goal kick.
And so with 5:20 to play, the Pioneers will put it back in, up the center of the field. Headed a couple of times and headed out. And MidAm content for that as Perez moves forward, and that's Nicole Garcia sends it in, and some awkward English on that ball, and the Pioneers get control of it, fed forward, but intercepted by Lucatero. Littlefield, give and go, a nice feed, and there's a chance for the Vikings. There's a shot that's wide right.
Yeah, she had a shot about 20 yards out.
And stoppage in play, a sub coming in as Nicole, it's Kaylee Hagan checks back in for the Pioneers, and heading out is Liz Corrales. So a chance with 4:30 to play as they inbound, and the clock starts again. Johnson had it, and the ball goes out, and stays with MidAm, and that is Rachel Slack to throw it in. That's headed away by Perez and lost out, and a little bit of hands to the face and disbelief for Amador as time winds under 4 now. And Amador knows that's a play that really shouldn't have been made. Got to keep the ball in and under control for the Vikings. That's headed behind. And now Elvia Villagomez trying to control, but it's taken away. And a feed forward that just skipped by Starosky.
.327.
Kick missed in the header. And Lucatero plays it forward, now left side. And that looks like Garcia working over there. Ball stays with Valley. It's a throw in on that far side near the corner. And headed away and out. Fewer than 3 to go.
Ooh.
In the middle. Oh, no one's home. And that ball is going to go to the Pioneers. 2.5. And again, the Pioneers probably work some possession. They push a little bit. Plays onside. But not much happens there. No. 2 minutes to play.
No.
And the ball's on the wrong side of the field for Missouri Valley. Pioneers keeping the pressure up. And the ball goes back to the Vikings as Barley Johnson couldn't do much over there with it.
But they took a precious 30 seconds off the clock in that corner.
And we're coming down to 90 ticks remaining in the game. Right side now for the Vikings, trying to move it forward. Sorotsky ahead now. Amador can't keep it in. Ball will stay with Valley. And they're looking for a ball in a hurry. Amador is doing some housekeeping there, and they got their clock is ticking, and several ball helpers try to feed the ball in the middle, and good defense is there. 60 seconds remaining.
That was a big chance there.
And as it has happened all night, a little bit of pressure, and the Pioneers are able to get it out.
They'll send this one out if nothing else now.
Hagan with it. Hagan's going to dance around the corner. She does not care. Tick, tick, tick. Holds the ball. Tick, tick. Yep. Waiting for someone to come take it away, and out of bounds goes to the Vikings and they're pointing back. Now coming up on 25 seconds. A little bit of urgency has to come from the Vikings. Long pass forward, out of bounds, and that is going to probably wrap it up. 15 seconds. MidAm's in no rush.
Wow.
Walking forward is Slack.
They stopped the clock, 12 seconds.
And that's headed out of bounds. And goal kick coming, not going to be enough.
Nope.
And so what's going to happen is Missouri Valley College drops its game 2-1. The decider comes in the second half, and it came from Savannah Moxley, the header on a corner kick, and it's 2-1 is the final score.
And the Vikings fall all the way from 2nd to 6th with that loss tonight. They're now at 5-3-1. This broadcast copyrighted by the Mass Communications Department of the Communications, Humanities, Human Service Division of Missouri Valley College. For the private use of our audience, any retransmission or the use of the content of the broadcast without the express written consent, Missouri Valley College is prohibited. Transportation considerations provided by Elmer Hare Ford in Marshall. When we go on the road, we go in a Ford from Elmer Hare Ford. 2-1, our final. The Pioneers win it. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with the men's game in about 15 minutes.